welcome back. It's Donwozi here, and in today's video I'm going to be updating my Apothis Sorcerer PvE pet build for the Wolfhunter DLC. Just a quick note that this build, the written version of this build should I say, will be exclusively on dotsgaming.com, so make sure you go check that out if you want to read the written version. The link will be in the description. And also, I've had, on previous build videos, I've had a lot of people asking my style and what's this style and what colour's that and blah blah blah. So I've decided every build video I make, I'm going to make a style video, an ESO fashion video on that build. So look out for that. The link will also be in the description when I eventually make the style video. So without further ado, I'm going to get into the build. So first of all, we're going to go over the stats. We have 50,000 magicka, 16.4k health, 10k stamina, 2,502 spell damage, 51% crit, and 1,457 magicka recovery. We have 64 points into magicka. If you feel like the health is too low, then put a couple of points into the health attribute thing. The food we're running is Clockwork Citrus Fillet, and the Munderstone is the Thief. You can be a vampire if you want to be. Just make sure to downgrade your vamp with Double Bloody Mara in fights where it is heavily fire. So like Maelstrom Arena, you don't need to. If you max CP, you have enough CP to counteract the extra fire damage you take. If you're in trials and there's a lot of fire in certain trials, then I would suggest putting your vamp to stage 1. So we are using the Clockwork Citrus Fillet. You can use Witch Mother's Potent Brew if you cannot afford Clockwork Citrus Fillet. Just be aware that the Witch Mother's Brew doesn't give as much health, so you may have to put more points into the health attribute. Just keep that in mind. And the potions we're using are Essence of Spell Power, which grant Major Sorcery, increasing spell damage by 20% for 47.6 seconds. Major Prophecy, which, because we're double barring in a light, you do not need this. If you decide you want to go with Bound Aegis, then I would suggest keeping this on your potion. It's entirely up to you. I just had these potions laying around, so these are what I am going to use. So it gives you 2191 spell crit for 47.6 seconds, restores 7582 magicka immediately, and grants you Major Intellect, which increases your magicka recovery by 20% for 47.6 seconds. So now I'm going to get to the gear, and not much has changed from the previous build, just enchantment changes and some weapon enchantment changes and extra CP. But I thought I'd go over it anyway. I'm not going to go too in detail about other variations of gear setups, because that is on my previous build video, which I will link in the description from Somerset. So the gear we're using is, on the front bar we're using Elegant Flame Staff infused with a shock enchantment. Just bear in mind that if you have a lot of concussion, so shock, a large uptime of concussion in your raid group, then you do not need to use the shock enchant. You can use the Berserker enchant, the increased weapon and spell damage enchantment on your front bar. If you do not, or you're not sure, just stick with the shock enchantment, because overall it does do more damage. Unless you have high uptimes of concussion, then the Berserker will do more damage. So on the back bar we are running an Elegant Lightning Staff, or you can run a Maelstrom Lightning Staff. It is entirely up to you. They will both, either one will be infused and either one will have a flame damage enchantment on. This is the best enchantment to have on your back bar for damage, because the way they change the enchantment, basically if you have a damage over time running from your back bar, and if you have a damage over time running from your back bar and you switch to your front bar, normally it'd only proc the enchantment on your front bar, but ZOS have changed it so that it will retain the enchantment, the skill that you've cast from the back bar will retain the enchantment on the front bar. So effectively, while you're on your front bar, you can have 2 lots of enchantments running. That's why we run fire on the back bar now. Alternatively, you can run the enchantment, the absorb magic enchantment for more sustain, and then put a flame glyph on your front bar, but that is entirely up to you. I choose this one because it gives me the best results. The monster set we're using is the 2-piece Alhambras. Unchanged from any other patch, several patches. I still feel that this is the best monster set for a Magicka Sorcerer if you're running a Flame and Lightning. If you're not and you're full single target, go with Zarn. Or if you can't get this, go with Valkin Scoria. It's entirely up to you. I just prefer the Alhambras. And the next set we are using is the 5-piece Necropotence. That is on the chest, waist, hands, and legs and feet. And then we're running Elegant Jewellery. The large pieces are all infused, so the head, chest, and legs are infused. All are enchanted with Maximum Magicka, and the small pieces are in Divines. On the jewellery, we are running 3 Arcane with spell damage enchantments. You can, if you want, sacrifice some sustain and bigger shields for a little bit of extra DPS with the Bloodthirsty trait, just having 1 and 2 Arcane. It's entirely up to you. Sorry about that. I just prefer having more sustain and bigger damage shields with Arcane, and the damage difference is minimal, so it doesn't really matter. Right, so now I'm going to go over the skills. On the front bar we are running Crystal Fragments, Elemental Weapon, Summon Volatile Familiar, Liquid Lightning, and Inner Light. You can run Bound Aegis instead of Inner Light. That is entirely up to you. The reason I run Inner Light is for the Magicka Controller passive, which gives you an extra 2% recovery. And the ultimate on the front bar is Fiery Rage. On the back bar we're running Daedric Prey, Blockade of Storms, Summon Volatile Familiar again, Hardened Ward, Inner Light again. You can swap this out for Channeled Acceleration if you do have the Sigicorda skill line. If you do not, then it doesn't matter. Also, for the spammable, if you do not have the Sigicorda skill line, you can use Force Pulse. So keep that in mind. Your sustain will be a little bit worse. And then if you have Force Pulse on the front bar, you can put Meteor on the front bar and the Destral on the back bar to have that Ancient Knowledge passive at all times. And then on the back bar we're running Shooting Star. You can use the Greater Storm Atronach. I just got better results from Shooting Star, and I actually prefer Shooting Star. The Greater Storm Atronach is better single target DPS in Trials, and it also has the Major Berserk from the Synergy, and is also an extra Synergy. But just out of personal preference is why I run Shooting Star. Now I'm going to go over some useful passives. So if you want to skip past this, I will have timestamps in the description. So, in Dark Magic, you want to take all of the passives, all Daedric Summoning passives, all of the Stormcalling passives, all of the Destruction Staff passives, sorry for that, all of the Light Armor passives. If you have enough skill points, then I would suggest taking Windwalker from the Medium Armor skill line, because it gives you extra stam recovery, and extra stam recovery does help while you're in Trials. So, same again, if you have enough skill points, then I would suggest taking Resolve, Constitution, and Juggernaut in the Heavy Armor skill line to give you some extra resistance, health recovery, and, well, health recovery and sustain, and to give you more maximum health. In the Fighters Guild skill line, I would suggest taking Banish the Wicked for some extra ulti gen. Not necessary, just in case you have the skill points. In the Mages Guild skill line, we will be taking Everlasting Magic, Magicka Controller, and Might of the Guild. In the Sigicorda skill line, you want to take all of the passives because they are all really good. You want to take both of the Undaunted passives, all of your class passives, and the medicinal use passive in Alchemy. And this is a must-have, so make sure you have skill points for this. It's to keep the benefits of your potions up 100% of the time. So now I'm going to go over the champion points, and in this video I will not be going over the 300 CP champion point allocations because that will be in the written guide on Donwozi's website. On my other build videos I will be going over the 300 CP allocation because they do not have a written version. This is the only build that has a written version. So this is for max CP. I'm going to go over the green tree first. Just remember, as always, green and red trees are entirely up to you or whatever trial you're in. So they are not set in stone. It's whatever you feel comfortable with. So we have 56 points into Warlord, 75 points into Arcanist, 64 points into Tenacity, 31 points in Shadow Ward, 34 points in Tumbling. We have 40 points in Elfborn, 56 points in Elemental Expert, and 32 points in Spell Erosion. Just a quick note with Spell Erosion, make sure you know your group's penetration, like what your group is using, like maybe Infused Crusher, Alkosh, etc. Just to make sure that you don't go over pen cap, because if you are over pen cap with this amount of points in Spell Erosion, you may want to take some out and put it across other trees evenly. We have 9 points into Staff Expert and 48 points into Master at Arms. And then we have 75 points into Thaumaturge for the Exploiter passive. And I know a lot of people are going to ask me, why'd you get the Exploiter passive? It's not good anymore. But just bear in mind that 99% of enemies in trials, especially trash mobs, can be set off balance 100% of the time. They do not have a cooldown. Only certain bosses have cooldowns for off balance, so just keep that in mind. Having the Exploiter passive is better in AoE situations, and because 99% of fights in trials are AoE situations, that's why having the Exploiter passive is very useful. Also, to keep in mind, if you want to go full single target, just remember that. Just think about it this way: are you in a group that is going for big, massive score runs, blah blah blah? Are you in a really good group? Are you in a progression group? All these factor in, like using the Exploiter passive or not. So, in my opinion, if you're in a progression group or you're not in a total elite, high score runs type hard mode guild or group, then I would suggest having the Exploiter passive. If not, then my build is not for you. Go for a double fire staff single target damage build. But yeah, that's entirely up to you. We have 61 points into Ironclad, 36 points into Spell Shield, 56 points into Hard 8 and Elemental Defender, and 40 points into Thick Skinned. And then we have our last 11 points into Bastion. So now I'm going to go over the rotation. And the rotation is the same as last patch. It's very simple. You will buff up with your potion. Then straight away you will drop your Destral, Light Attack, Liquid Lightning, Light Attack, Pet, swap bars, Light Attack, Wall of Elements, Light Attack, Daedric Prey. Then while your Destral is up, you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then same again, Light Attack, Liquid Lightning, Light Attack, Pet, Light Attack, Wall of Storms, Light Attack, Prey. And then because your Destral is not up, you would do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then same again, Light Attack, Liquid Lightning, Light Attack, Pet, Light Attack, Wall of Storms, Light Attack, Prey, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's basically it for the rotation. just remember that if you're using your spammable and a frag procs, use the frag instantly. The frag does take priority over your elemental weapon, but you've got to count the frag as part of your spammable. So if you're doing 4 spammables, if you come to your front bar and you got to do 4 spammables, you do 1, 2, 3, 4, no frag proc. Say we do it again. Right, so our frag's proc there, so we come back to his front bar and then we do 1, frag proc is 2, 3, 4, and then start as rotation again, etc. 1, 2, 3, 4, start again. So just keep that in mind. And that is it for the rotation and the build. If you have any questions about the build, or you want to hear about different gear setups, then I would suggest checking out the build video from Somerset. That is a bit more in depth in other gear sets. But as always, guys, if you enjoy the build, leave me a like, leave me a comment, hit that notification bell to be informed whenever I upload a video, and also make sure you, if you enjoy the style, make sure you check out my ESO style video and check out the written guide on dotsgaming.com. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope this build helps, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks, guys. Bye.